talking about what can derail you from your style. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christy, I'm a personal stylist. I can't wait to talk to you about something I hear about that derails women from their style a lot. And this is something that is everywhere for women. It's something I have to talk to all of my clients about on the regular. That is trends, which you might be thinking, oh my gosh, like what? Even you talk about trends on your channel? Yes, I do. I talk about trends because they're fun. They're a great way to modernize your closet, but there are a lot of reasons why you need to be cautious and why they can actually derail you from your style that I want to talk about today, because I don't feel like a lot of people talk about this on YouTube or just in general. And so let's have a bit of a heart-to-heart as to how to be a little bit more mindful with some of them so that it doesn't derail you from creating a style you love. Now, the thing I hear from women all the time is that they often feel frustrated. They don't know where to start with their style. They're not sure like how to create a style that makes them feel good. And I know, I hear you. Like, this is something my clients talk to me all the time about. If you are ever someone that wants to build your style, this is what I talk about and show you step by step by step in my Rise Through Style Society. This is my membership where I will take you from A to Z with your style. I'll teach you how to do that so you can curate a style that makes you really feel good. And one of the things that we talk about quite often are trends, the good and the bad, and how to make them work for you and what things to stay away from. And the first reason that I think it's something that you need to be aware of is because they are distracting. That's the first thing I want to mention. And the reason I mention this is because you hear about it everywhere. It's on YouTube, it's in magazines, it's on blogs, it's on Instagram. It's literally everywhere you turn where you're inundated with the must-haves and what's current, what's hot, what you gotta have, what you should have in your wardrobe. And you know, when we see all these articles, they can be fun, they can be enlightening to see what's current, what's modern, what's kind of playful, what's our potential this season in the fashion industry. But the reason I say it's distracting is oftentimes we get into the cycle with thinking that we should have these items in our wardrobe, and because we don't, that almost creates this mentality of us being wrong, or thinking we're dated all the time, or thinking that we're not as fresh as that we need to be, and it can pull us away from our ultimate vision of what we want for ourselves when it comes to our style. And this is why I say, even in my own trends video, don't wear it if you don't want to or if it doesn't speak to you, because you want to keep your vision in mind for your style, because it is your style. That's what makes your style personal, right? We're not looking for clone copies of everybody out there. And this is why a lot of women can end up feeling like their style is not a reflection of them, because we get distracted by all the trends and thinking that's what we need to follow. And we almost get into this mentality where that's going to lead us to the end result of our style. And it's just not true. It's a distraction. Trends can definitely add value to our closet if it speaks to our style, but it's not something that will help us create our personal style just by following them. So hopefully that makes sense. So when you're looking at a style, ask, does this serve me? Does this serve my vision? Does this serve what I want to create for myself, what I am creating for myself? And base your decisions on what you want to purchase off of that, because that will be less distracting. Think of it almost like an audition, okay? The trends are auditioning for you and what you want to invite into your closet, not they get to dictate what's in your wardrobe. It doesn't work like that. Now, the other reason to be cautious of trends that I tell women just to be mindful of, and I feel like this is an ongoing practice because it can be hard, even for me, it can be difficult, because let's face it, fashion is so much fun. There is so much creative opportunity out there for us to play with all of these different things and bring all the different facets of our personality into our clothing, which is really exciting. But if we're not careful, a lot of the time it can get us into this more is more mentality, where it's not about curating and selecting what feels like a work of art in your wardrobe so that it speaks to you personally. It feels like all of your best friends kind of hanging out with you every single day. But a lot of the time it can feel like, oh, well, I haven't bought anything recently, therefore my style is no longer valuable. And that is a dangerous mentality to get into when it comes to your style, because this is where you start digging out your wallet all the time and you're endlessly buying. And sometimes for a lot of women, and you may be here too, I know that this can create just a lot of stuff in the closet, but you may look at that and think, I have nothing to wear, right? We've all been there before, where you found this one beautiful piece that really spoke to you and you were excited to bring it home, but maybe that was a one-off that doesn't necessarily lend itself well to the rest of your closet, or maybe it really wasn't a part of your personal style because it was more of an impulse purchase, which no shame, like we've all been there. I have definitely been there too, but this is why it's good just to kind of slow our roll and again think back to that auditioning piece and really see, does this trend work for what I'm curating for my style? Think of your closet like a high-end boutique, and make sure that everything that enters sort of fits the bill for what you want to communicate and curate when it comes to your wardrobe. Because I think a lot of the time we think, you know, if we're not wearing these, we're dated. But the reality is all the personal style of those that we admire in mainstream media, whether they are current or from years past, these are all women that have thoughtfully created something that wasn't necessarily like everybody else. It was just something that was a statement for them. They really intentionally curated something that wasn't like everybody else, but there was an ownership around that. And that's the difference between personal style and regular fashion. It's about curating who you are through what's in your closet. Now, the next point, which I already touched on just a little bit, but I think it's worth mentioning again, is that when we get into the mentality of just buying what's on trend or feeling like we need to buy what's on trend all the time, and I say need loosely as, again, trends can speak to us. They're not a bad thing, so I want to be clear about that. But if we feel like we need to buy them and we know it's not actually a part of our personal style and it's not something we want to actively pursue or experiment with, because experimenting is fun as well, this can lead to the hot mess express in our closet, and we end up feeling frustrated because our closet doesn't feel like a representation of who we are, and that feels frustrating in the long run because now you feel like you've spent a bunch of money and you still aren't where you want to be in your closet. This is what a lot of women come to me and talk to me about. They're like, how do I curate what works for me so I don't have like mounds of stuff if I don't want it? I can get dressed, feel like myself, and know that my money has been spent how I would like it to, wisely, with a style that makes me feel empowered when I look in the mirror. And this is why, again, you want to really start to thoughtfully curate what you're bringing in, because not doing so, this is kind of what it's like. I love this analogy. It's like you walking into a furniture store, and it's like you buying all the things that you like on site in that room, and then bringing it all back home with you and expecting that to work in your living room. No. Doesn't work like that, right? We have to get intentional about what it is that we want to create, what we want to bring into our closets, just like you would do in interior design. You really want to get mindful about what is the mood, the color palette, the vibe, like what are the things that you want to create for yourself. And then again, based on that, you can thoughtfully pick out, like cherry pick trends as they come up and as they appear in stores, and you can pick out what you know is going to work for you based on what you curated in your mind or on a board, let's say, for example, that's going to speak to you in the long run. So trends are wonderful. As I mentioned, I think they're valuable in that they give us versatility and variety each and every season, every single year. I think they're beautiful for that. There's something for everybody, which I think is important, and it does keep things fresh. Let's be honest, it really does keep things fresh. But there's a difference between being a victim of the trends and feeling like you have to buy all the time, because we've all been there. I've been there before too. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, like what's happened? Like I gotta slow my roll here. And a difference between that and then just getting thoughtful of like, this is what I want for myself. This is what I desire, you know, and of course things evolve and transform slowly with what you've wanted for yourself. That always happens with style, it's ever evolving. But it's a more mindful way of exploring your fashion and your style, and it will be kinder to your wallet. It will be less stress for you in the long run, and make sure that it doesn't mess with your style as a result. So I hope this resonated with you. Tell me what tends to throw you off track. Is it the trends? What gets you caught up? Like, is it the impulse buy, shopping, sales, anything like that? I feel like we've all been there at certain points. Comment down below and share with me. And other than that, I'm sending you much love, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.